And in terms of the 1.5, I mean, are there any concerns from your customers now that there could be similar problems? I mean, have any of the customers reported like fears, or actual incidents or not?
We've seen no incidents on the 1.5 unit, George. No.
And I mean, George, you spoke about potential temperature conditions here in South Africa coming into play, affecting the coolant levels and that. In terms of the Kuga, where, I mean, I know in America it gets really hot, places like Arizona and New Mexico and those types of places. I mean, is the Kuga model or the Escape model sold like in the Middle East or any other countries that have extreme, like Australia and that have extreme temperatures? And have you seen effects of similar nature which we're seeing here in South Africa?
Yeah, I think I need to clarify the response, which was really, it was intended to say that we're seeing, because it's an effect of an overheat, you would expect to see that instances increase when you have an ambient temperature increase. So it wasn't a matter of saying that South Africa in particular is of a more extreme than some of our other markets. As you point out, there are extreme markets around the world, only that we have seen it now recently in hot season as it comes in, which you would expect engine cooling systems to be under additional stress.
And then my question relating to the earlier questions that I asked around the insurance, insurance companies being in contact with Ford. I mean, we've seen emails from Discovery, Telesure, a number of other insurance companies. When exactly was Ford, from insurance companies, made aware that there was a problem? And why did it take so long for that notice, that I think it's a TSB or a TBS, to be put out? And should it not have been put out earlier, saying to customers, look, if you have engine warning problems or lights coming on, bring it in and we'll check it out?
Well, we're constantly evaluating data from our service system, our warranty systems, to see if there's any patterns with problems with vehicles. I believe, if I remember correctly, Discovery was the first insurance company that contacted us early in 2015, early in 2016. And we've only really seen an escalation in the second half of 2016 in the number of cases. As I said, every single case that we became aware of, we investigated to the point of taking engines out of cars and shipping them, taking damaged parts out of cars and shipping those to our engineering centers in the US and Europe. And what's really been helpful is when the nature of a fire, it destroys what's burning, right? And so the evidence of the cause of the fire is very, very often inconclusive. You can't really tell what started it because it was destroyed in the fire. So what's been very helpful is since December, when we started the maintenance checks, is we've had 624 completed, and we've got about another 950 in process. And we're getting data on cars that haven't had an incident. And that's really what's informed our engineers on what the causal factors are and what we need to do to ensure that it doesn't happen.
In some cases, the insurance company will notify us, but the vehicle may already actually have been dispositioned, it's no longer available. So while we do get communicated with and notified of, we ask if we can have access to the vehicle. The insurance company, based on their protocols, grants that or not, right?
Yeah.
So I think even in those instances, the data points, it's really that volume of information that allows us to really draw real conclusions. And as I mentioned, not just about what is happening, but what isn't, because it allows us to narrow and focus the resources in one area as opposed to the whole complex vehicle.
And I mean, given the long journey that Ford has been on, we saw the death of Rochelle Gibby, which is incredibly sad and absolutely horrific way to die. Up until now, I mean, there's been numerous cases reported, and there's social media and Facebook and all that kind of stuff where it continues to generate traffic and people reporting incidents. Do you believe that this could have been handled in any other way? A quicker way, any differently to allay consumer or customers' fears? I mean, as I said, there's 4,500 affected cars. I mean, that's a lot of people who are genuinely concerned.
I think what's, in kind of a roundabout way, the amount of publicity generated by the death has actually helped, because customers maybe wouldn't have contacted Ford if their vehicle, if they had a problem with their vehicle and their insurance company took care of it and they got a new car. We've gotten a lot of information through and been able to contact customers that we might not have thought to contact us. So that's actually been helpful in allowing us to get that body of data as well.
And I think that it's important. What we always do is go back and look at what we've done, whether it's a technical or communications or otherwise process, and understand it. Could we have done it better? And that's just part of Ford's DNA towards improving the product. So I think we're better at this now than we were 15 years ago, and we'll be better tomorrow than we were today as part of this process. And that's Ford.
And the lessons, I think it was Mark
Galvin.
Mark Galvin. From the previous model, like there was the Pinto. I mean, those lessons, have those lessons been taken, and how have they been used to help Ford in this situation with Kuga? I mean, what lessons have you learned from there that you've used here?
I think it would be difficult for us to say that something from 35 years ago that the technical side from the Pinto is directly related to a 2012 Kuga. The vehicle is completely different. But Ford does have a rigorous engineering process and analysis process, and we found over time, frankly, that that the information that we can gather is what enables us to react in a way to improve that process. So
we're a living organization, and we're constantly looking for ways to improve our processes, and we learn every day. We're confident that our engineering processes result in world-class products, but we're continually improving on them and honing them, and we'll continue to do so.
And in terms of, I mean, I was chatting to a couple of people within the National Consumer Commission. We heard that they actually wanted this recall to have happened, the recall that you've announced today, to have happened at least a week ago, and that Ford was saying, look, just hang on, it's going to cause chaos in terms of bringing cars in and parts and all of that. I mean, what is your comment on that? Did you want the recall to be done a bit later to give you more time to conclude your investigations?
Well, I think we've been interacting with the NCC on an ongoing basis. We met with them. George and I both met with them, and I guess Mark and I met with them in December. You met with them last week with me, and we've been in constant contact with them. We've been trying to ensure that they were happy with the rigor that we were putting into the system, and I do want to point out that the maintenance check that we put in place in December, none of the fires that have happened since then happened in a vehicle that had gone through the maintenance check. So it was effective. What we did in December was effective. Although we're always trying to, if a recall needs to be made, we want to do it as quickly as we possibly can. And that's why we announced it today.
And we won't hesitate to go back and take that information, even from the vehicles we saw in December, and say, customers, we've learned more. I talked to you early on. I've learned more from that. We want to come back and take some additional actions to ensure that safety, because that really is the priority. There's been no discussion about doing it in a way that would not affect vehicle sales or other elements. There's no basis to that discussion.
And in terms of, I mean, the company is taking responsibility by doing the recall. They've taken responsibility by doing the maintenance. And as the NCC was saying, there are going to be regular bi-weekly checks and report backs. I mean, do you feel that there was anybody in Ford who could have done anything differently, regardless of their position in the company? Is there something And in terms of responsibility, is there somebody who should have taken responsibility that didn't, or could have, or wouldn't do? And is Ford doing an investigation around that at all?
I can't emphasize enough how many people have been involved in this all the way to Detroit. Daily meetings for months to get to the bottom of what was going on with this. We've been, the process that we have is normally very rigorous. I'd have to say that this particular instance, these events, have taken that to a whole new level, from my experience. So I believe that we pushed the system as hard as we possibly could in this instance.
We'll look again to see if there's something we can learn from it, but that's our approach.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate your time.
Okay.